Hi.
Oh, there you are.
There I am.
Sound for
So
a
glad
minute.
you found me.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
Good.
Good. I'm excited you're wanting to do this with me today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been up to today? What'd you do this morning?
Not much. I've been inside most of the morning.
Oh,
The
yeah.
only one that's been really outside actually is Dad going on a bike ride.
He did. Good for him.
That was the only sign of outside actually today.
Oh,
And
wow.
so that's the only way we got these, the rocks and the acorn.
Well, you put your dad to work?
Well, he was outside already having a bike ride.
Well, why go through the extra work? I get it. If he's out there anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll use some of his stuff then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm excited you're going to do this with me. We're going to make a little video for kids that can't come to the class in person.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be good instead of just me in front of a camera to show an actual kid making these things. Because you might have questions that a kid would ask. So that's why it's fun because I like to talk to people and I especially like to talk to you. So I think it's great that we can do this together. Did you happen to get a sheet and print it off?
Yes.
You did. Ah, super. Look at that. So I thought, do you have scissors?
No.
Yes, you do.
Oh, is this behind the computer for some reason?
Okay, well, there. So we're going to cut this heart out because we're going to use it as a template for today. And did you know what today's theme is?
Valentine Day.
That's right.
And I have a question. What's
Please.
a template?
Template. So that's a good question. A template is something that is an example and you can use it for other things. So today, this template we're going to use, once we cut it out, we can trace it onto paper. We can trace it onto like a thicker kind of card paper.
Oh, so it's something that we use so we're gonna trace it.
Mm-hmm. That way you don't have to try to make a heart every time if you want to make heart cards. So for Valentine's Day, we're going to make some cards, but because this class is about enjoying nature and learning to love what's around us, we're going to mix the two together and have nature cards. And then I took a picture of a nature Valentine that I actually made for outside for the earth. So I'll send you a picture because that's something when you do feel like going out and venturing outside, you can go and make wherever you are, in your backyard or front yard, or if you're near a park, you can go do that too. So we're going to cut out our template and then we got all sorts of things we can do. How are you at cutting? Pretty good?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Some of it, probably in the middle.
Yeah. I would guess if there's younger kids that end up doing this class, their parents may need to cut it for them. But you're kind of bigger, so you probably can do it on your own. And it doesn't have to be exact. Sometimes I like hearts that don't look perfect.
Yeah, it feels a bit more like the artist or whoever made it did it a bit more creatively.
Absolutely. And so actually, if you didn't even want to use my little template, you wouldn't have to. You can just do your own hearts.
I don't know yet. I'll see how it goes for the first one, and I'll see.
Yeah. If you feel like you don't need that anymore, you can go ahead and keep making your own. Yeah. And we've got, so I'm guessing you've got some different paper options in front of you. Do you have some?
I have a bunch of colors.
Colors, okay, great. I have some colors. I found one that has a print on it on mine. I like that. Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. Yeah. And I grabbed, sometimes paper doesn't, it's kind of flimsy, so we can also use something like a box.
I've got construction paper, which is in the middle also, I think.
Middle. So it's kind of up to you. Some of the things that we're going to make may need to be then glued onto this heavier paper because it might help hold it up. because there's one card that we can make called "You Rock" of Valentine's, and we're gonna put our rock on it. So we may need to have heavier paper for that. We can decide if we want to just color this paper, or you can glue the paper onto it.
That'd be funny.
The other nice thing about having a template is that you have the same sizes. So if you do need to glue on some paper onto your heavier paper, they'll be the same size. See how that works? Because you're making the same size when you use a template.
Unless you have a bunch of templates.
Right. That's right. And then you can, it doesn't even have to be the same size if you don't want to.
No.
So what kind of outside items did you find? Did your dad find for you today?
Well, he only got rocks from outside.
He did.
But but the rest we had inside. We had a leaf.
Excellent.
A shell and some acorns.
Oh, cool. That's good. You know what? I didn't find any acorns. I have a feather.
Ooh.
And I have some pine needles. And I have some sticks.
Ooh.
Do you have any sticks?
No.
No. Okay.
I know. I don't know. I know about all the items. I don't have them in the head at the moment.
Okay.
Ooh, I have a shell.
I have a shell. This is a fun one. And then I have a couple big rocks and a smaller rock. So the smaller rock we're going to use for our card, our Valentine's card. And our bigger rocks, we're going to paint on them or give our color with Sharpie or something on them. If you've got something like that, that could be fun. For Valentine's, obviously, what do we give Valentine's cards for? What do we like to tell people on Valentine's?
Family and friends?
Family and friends, yeah. What kind of things? Why do we give them cards? What do we want them to know?
That we love them?
Yeah, that we love them, that we appreciate them. So these are fun ways for us to tell people that we care about them. And we also can show how much we like to do stuff outside with nature.
If most cards, you also write something to show them how much you love them.
That's right. Yep. And so on that printout that I had some words. Sometimes there might be some kids that are little and they may need some help. They might not be able to write their own words. You probably can. So you may or may not need these. You could cut these out and put them on your Valentine's cards if you want.
Yes, I can write some words, others I can't.
Well, and you can look at them and your mom can tell you what each one of them say, that you can figure out which one you want to use. And some of these, or you can make up your own. However, you could think about all the stuff you've got and you can make up your own little saying.
Or you could, or if there's like a little kid, then since maybe you could rearrange the letters down here since otherwise they wouldn't sound out the word, and maybe they wouldn't even be able to sound out a word.
That's right. They might just scribble, and that's all right. That sounds good to me too. They can
creative.
Yeah, exactly. Creative. Shows them how creative they are. So do you want to cut out a couple? We'll just do a couple cards together, and we can use our hearts, or if you prefer just to make it a rectangle, you can make it a rectangle. You can pick which thing from nature you want to put on your card, and we can pick out what saying we want to put on there. What kind of thing would you like to do first?
Well, I was thinking about doing the You Rock one, but I don't have any cardboard.
Well, do you have a box, like a cracker box?
Yeah, I'll get one.
Okay, Mom's getting one.
We could use that, and I'll make the You Rock one as well, because I have a rock. So we can do that one together.
Yeah.
Does that sound good? Do you happen to have a hole punch?
Yes, that's the bigger one.
Oh, fancy pants. Okay. So we can take our heart template
and cut out
and trace it on the paper if you want to do that, and then we can cut it out. You're gonna have to hold down that paper because it's gonna move around a little bit and be real gentle about going around and tracing it.
Yeah. This will be even harder because I have construction paper.
Well, it might not be. I think you could even use a crayon or something to help it show up. What do you mean because it's thicker?
No.
It might be harder to cut?
Yeah, because it's thicker.
Well, Mom might have to help you with that one. She'll definitely have to help you with the box as well.
You want me to cut that for you?
Yeah.
Cut it? Okay.
My hands are already tired and I only finished a quarter of it.
Oh my goodness. Well, like I said, we don't have to make them into hearts. You can also just do a rectangle.
It looks like you did a computer on the back of that one, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Or something.
You know what? It's different on both sides. And because I'm gonna paste it, you won't see that back part. So I cut out my heart. Maybe you can trace, maybe you can do the tracing for the cardboard box.
That's good.
So once we have our little cardboard paper heart and our regular paper heart, we can use that to glue. So I would recommend facing out the blank part. So we're gonna paste, I'll show you in just a sec what I'm talking about here. So I've cut my heart, but I've got part of my cereal box on the other side. I don't want that to show. So I'm gonna put my color over it. And on the back, it'll just be blank card.
Oh, it's two different sizes.
That's
So
okay.
I'll be able to see.
That's all right. So we're gonna just cover up one side. And if you have a blank side, you could leave the blank side. Or if you feel like putting the one where you see all the picture on the back, you could do that too.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll just put it on the back.
However you want to do that, and then we'll just glue it on top. So that way you have an extra strong piece. And you can use a glue stick for that.
Got one right here. Hey, we actually got the same one.
Twinsies!
But it's still different colors.
Oh yeah, I got the purple kind. I
Mm,
think they're both pretty much the same.
You're not-
They both glue anyway.
mhm.
Make sure you glue it all over.
It's a big object. I have no idea where to use all my glue.
Definitely go around the edges.
Yeah. Right.
Make it helpful.
That should work.
And then when you put it on, if it's still a little wet, you can kind of slide your heart around. I've got some edges sticking out, but that's okay.
Yeah, me too. I'll probably wait until it dries because I don't want it getting all sticky. Cause the edges
It won't take long.
shouldn't.
Now you have a little rock that you're gonna use.
Ooh, we have more than one. We have about 4.
Oh, perfect. Well, you could make 4 of these cards. So we're gonna see where we want to put our rock, like maybe in the middle. And you can do a couple different ways here. I don't know if a glue stick will glue it on, if it will stay because it's kind of heavy. But if you have your hole punch, and your mom may need to do this one, is we can punch 2 little holes on either side because then we can tie it on.
We have one very long string and a bunch of pipe cleaners. I don't know how we'll do
Yeah,
it.
oh yeah, pipe cleaners will work. Pipe cleaners will work great. In fact, I brought a pipe cleaner just in case that's what you had, so we'll use those. So I've got 2 holes on either side of my rock.
Very Valentine-y.
I don't
Yeah.
think I can do that with the kind of hole punch that I have because I can't get it to
I
like,
can.
the middle. Let's see.
Well, you know what? Mine didn't reach very far either, so I just kind of put mine towards the bottom.
Okay.
You could do that. Or
You know, I'm gonna grab a
do.
screwdriver and make a punch with the screwdriver.
yeah, I was gonna say you could use something to punch a hole through it. Maybe the edge of the screwdriver sounds like a good idea. And I have a little pipe cleaner that you can use for the holes.
Mine's way more bendy. Has way more bends.
Oh, look at that.
This actually looks like a twist.
But mine, I glued mine and then I put the pipe cleaner through the 2 holes on the either side and I twisted it up at the top.
I think I'll use this one.
So you use this kind of glue, Allison?
I did. I just put a bunch of that on just to, if it had a flat side, because that might help it stay a little bit while you're twisting your pipe cleaner on.
Can you put some glue on the rock?
Sure. That
This
one.
one? Okay.
The other thing is, if there's kids at home that they have some sort of string, or I've got like this kind of twine, you could do that instead of pipe cleaners as well. So you can use either, pretty much anything goes. Even if you had super glue, you could probably use that to put your rock on.
We have dried out super glue.
You did? That might not work. So I'm going to show a different way too. I'm going to put my little bit of hot glue on mine.
Ooh.
And I'm going to stick that to my card.
Well, that's a surprise. I didn't see that coming.
You didn't see that coming? I just, I just hang out. I always keep hot glue around me just in case. I got it ready to go. You never know.
You rock?
You rock. So I have it printed, but because you know how to write, you don't have to cut it out if you don't want to. You could cut out what I have here, or you could write it at the top. You could see the letters that I use and make it your own. But just in case there's some kids that don't want to write, they can cut their little saying out. You can even separate the words if you want them a little bit farther apart.
Or you could even make your own up, or make those words and just unscramble. Hey, you're cutting one out?
You totally could. So you rock, and then you can have your to, and I have from or love, depending on who you're giving it to. And you can just glue
I
it up, write it out.
I threw down so many times.
You what?
Why you written down?
So many times. And so for love. Why
Oh,
is it written down so much?
So you can make more than one.
Yeah, so if you want to make lots of different cards, because there's all sorts of sayings on here, like would you be mine, but you use piece of wood instead. Or we're birds of a feather, if you have a feather. Remember how I showed you I had a feather? Or I'm
Okay,
pine
so
for you if you have pine cone or pine needles. The other one you can make, because you have acorn, is you can say, I'm nuts about you. That would be a funny one. So you can glue on your words or you can write them out however you want.
that reminds me of a joke.
What is it?
How do you get squirrels to like you?
I
You
don't
go nuts. You go nuts.
Good, I like it. Yeah, and you can choose to use the to and from cutouts or not. It's up to you.
I just said you rock at the top.
Yeah,
So it would basically match the project.
I love it. Can I see it? Perfect. I love it. Who are you going to give that to?
That's a good question. I have lots of people that I want to give it to.
Oh, well, you could make lots of cards. Now you know.
Hey, where does those heart stickers come?
We just had them.
Yeah. So you could write. So I taped mine on. I didn't write mine. I put you rock. And then I have to and love.
There's a lot of colors. It's starting to get a bit unveiled in tiny colors, but I'm ending up with green.
Well, you could also, even if you wanted to make it a little bit more creative, you could cut a piece of a different color paper and put that on and write your message on that. You don't have to make another heart. You could just make like a circle and put that on there. You could, if you wanted to do something like that, you could. You pretty much could do whatever you want. These are your cards. And like I said, you don't have to use when you make more cards, you can just make them into like squares or rectangles or triangles. They don't have to be hearts. Sometimes it's harder.
I wrote it all over the card, and some of them are even crooked. So it's a bit like creative.
Oh, so cute. That's a perfect card. So the other project we can do is make a heart on a rock. And then depending on what kind of paint you use, or if you have Sharpie, you could actually put this somewhere and maybe surprise someone. You could leave it like outside somewhere special. You could put it maybe, on the side of a sidewalk or on a corner, and somebody going on a walk would say, "What? Oh, that's so nice." And you would just be surprising people and giving just a nice little sign to anybody. You don't even know who's going to see it. This could be our little surprise heart. And yet, depending on how light color your rock is, you could use, if you have a Sharpie, or if you have like, I had some leftover acrylic paint. I think the Sharpies would be okay outside. If you had some fancy stuff at home, like an acrylic sealer, that might help protect it from the elements.
Acrylic sealer?
Yeah.
That's so fancy, I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, it just kind of puts a little coating on it so that if it's out aside for a long time, it would be protected and not lose its color. But the acrylic paint will work just fine if you have acrylic paint. And like I said, I think the Sharpies would work and stay a while. If you use something like a washable marker, then you'd have to keep your rock inside so it's not in the rain, because it'll just wash right off. But if you have a Sharpie like you do, I did my Sharpie, I just made a heart on mine.
I don't know how many possibilities, how many things you need to decide what you do with it, like an optional stuff and all that.
There's so many options. That's what's fun about this. That's why when we're doing this for kids at home, we give them a lot of options, because they might not have all this stuff. So they may have
and
markers but not paint but not markers. They might have a rock. They might have something completely different.
I would probably be the most surprised if they didn't have markers.
You think if they didn't have markers?
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully they put the lids on them, because if they don't, they'll be dried out markers. Around my heart. Do you like it? And then I wanted to show you a picture of one of the things that I did outside to give you some ideas. Can you see that? Can you see a picture of that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I made some leaves in the shape of a heart.
They all look like they're from the same tree.
Yeah, and they don't have to be. I like that shape. I thought that shape would be nice and easy to use. So I was walking around and I just made those into a heart and left them where I was. I didn't take them anywhere. So that way the next person who's walking along can see this little heart shape. You can always do it on your own. This one I would recommend. Don't send your dad out to make a leaf shaped heart for you. I think you should actually go out yourself and do it. What do you think? Do you have do you have leaves in your backyard?
No, I wouldn't say so. But our front yard, the grass used to be good, but now it's not that good.
Well, it's covered in snow.
And well, I guess that is good. And we have a tree, so they're a lot of leaves and acorns that are down there.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, so that's an example of something you could do. You could just do it in a shape, or you could do it an outline of acorns in a heart shape and just, put it right next to the sidewalk and somebody's walking past and they'll say, "Oh, that's adorable. It's so nice." Bring a smile to their face. And then of course you're telling the earth, "Oh, we love you. Thanks for giving us this cool stuff that we can make art with."
And if there was some way that we could make art with nature without like taking the leaves off the tree or something.
You certainly can. You can find those. If those have, if they drop down, or like the acorns, they've dropped, they're already on the ground. You can just put those in a heart shape. But thanks for doing this with me today. Did you have fun?
I had no idea that there was going to be I had no idea that this card was going to be 3D, or part of it is 3D.
Yeah, that makes it kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, it makes it kind of like more of a present, because presents are usually 3D.
Yep.
And cards are usually 2D. This is more of a present.
Yeah.
A rock. You put it in
It's
that
like
matter.
a little bit of both. It's a little bit of everything. It's a perfect little gift for Valentine's Day. You put a lot of time and effort into it, and people appreciate that.
Actually, I added a whole Zoom meeting for it.
A whole Zoom meeting. That's right. All right, dude. Thank you so much. Well, thanks,
Like
guys.
project.
Thank you.
Doing any type of project.
Bye, Allison. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you guys.